welcome to another exciting episode of Can It Take a K26, the show where we take a variety of blasters and see if they can be upgraded using a K26 spring. I am your host, Captain Xavier, and today we're going to be looking at the Chaos line from X-Shot, starting, of course, with the X-Shot Meteor. Meteor was released in 2019 as part of the Chaos line, X-Shot's answer to the Rival line. The ammunition is very, very similar, though not identical. And this thing has a number of really cool features. Unlike the Chronos, where it has a curved internal magazine, this has a straight internal magazine, and rather than loading from a jam door on the top, it loads from a loading port on the bottom. The one slightly more complicated aspect is that you have to pull the follower down first. Once the follower is all the way down, then you can load rounds into the magazine, and then you push this button to release the follower. And if you fail to do that, then it won't load. So it's very similar to the Hades and the Artemis in its magazine design, which has advantages and some disadvantages. There is also then a button here that appears to be a release of some kind, which I believe current speculation is that it is either for an extended magazine or some kind of a speed loader. And what I discovered is that you can in fact use the speed loaders that I have for my Chronos to reload this. The only problem is that the pusher in the speed loader isn't quite long enough to get the last round all the way in, so you have to push it in manually. Now, making that a little bit longer would be trivial. I could do that in my 3D printer's slicer. I could also make it a little bit longer because this holds more ammunition. This only holds 5. This thing is designed to hold 6. So I would need to make that pusher longer, and I would need to make the whole thing a little bit longer. But then I could indeed speed load this, which would be pretty cool. Other than that, top prime. It does have a safety that is fairly easily accessed by right or left hand, and I do appreciate that. And the ergonomics are absolutely fantastic. But let's go get the stock numbers because they make some fairly impressive claims. They claim 100 FPS, so we're going to test that and then test its accuracy real quick, just to make sure that, just so I can see how much, if it can take a K26, what effect that has on the accuracy. So, first, to the indoor range. All right, let's test those 100 FPS claims. 98, 98, 95, 102, 101. I will give it to him. That is as close to 100 as one can expect from a Nerf blaster. That's pretty cool. Now to the range. See if we can actually hit something with it. Alright, we are shooting at a range of about 25-30 feet, which is a decent range for a Rival sidearm. There's a bit of a breeze, we'll see how much that affects it, but we are going to try to shoot this alien. Hit. 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 Oh, got him on the bounce. Hit. Yeah, it shoots straight enough. I like it. I like it. Go see if we can make it any more powerful. Well, it does what they claim it can do, but can it take a K26? Let's find out. All right, well, we are in, and well, it's not all that different internally to a Chaos, or a Chronos. Alright, we're in, and it's not all that different internally to a Chronos, other than the design of the magwell and the whole catch mechanism is a little bit different. This has a more traditional catch. We've got our various locks in place. That's all well and good, but it looks like it's really easy. Yep. There's your mainspring. And I don't see any reason, well, the only potential issue is it is a much higher frequency than K26, or lower frequency. There are fewer coils, so compression could be an issue. It is also a lot larger. Oh, Well, actually, that answers it right there. No. No, it cannot take a K26 because it will not fit over the plunger tube. You would need a much larger spring, perhaps K25, but that's probably going to be less powerful than this stock spring. So, that makes this a much shorter episode. I got the shell resituated, so we're going to button it back up and review a bit, I guess. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Monkey.
Whoops. Well, I did something wrong. Don't work. Catch spring had come loose. Alright, so it's back together. Couple of features that I didn't cover before. There is a kind of a jam door here on the side that also acts as a reload port. You can just reload directly into there rather than having to reload the magazine. So if you're in a hurry, you can just reload through there. I would definitely not recommend taking that door off for ease of reload because if you tilt the blaster when it's priming, rounds will just roll out of there and it can cause it to jam. So the door is necessary, but it definitely is handy. I absolutely love the ergonomics of this. The grip feels very much like a Chronos grip. Very, very comfortable. I love this design. I always liked knuckle duster pistols in general, and so the fact that this one has one that's functional, very cool. It will take speed loaders, which is cool, and I imagine it's only a matter of time until people design ones that are specifically built for it, ones that'll actually socket into there and possibly even lock in, or like I said, potentially extended magazines. You could also hypothetically hook a proton pack up to it. It would still be, manually operated, but with an almost infinite amount of ammunition at that point, which would be pretty cool. So I really, really like this. We're going to move on to the next one after Let's move on to the next one after these messages. All of the K26 used on this series was donated by Out of Darts. Check out his new website at outofdarts.com for all your Nerf modding needs. Our next contestant is the X-Shot Orbit. The Orbit was also released in 2019 as part of their Chaos series. And this one is... this one's also just neat. So it is pump action, single shot, which is nice. And it also has an internal magazine. And again, similar to the way the Artemis and the Hades work in that you have to pull the follower back to load it. And then you load from the back right into there, and then you push this button to have the follower snap forward. So you can top it up on the fly, you just have to pull this back, and then you can load rounds in, and then you have to push that again, and then you can fire. It also has the jam door on the side that allows you to load directly in, and I had this open when I was doing some testing and rounds were getting jammed because they were starting to fall out of that, so make sure that that is closed. There isn't a lock or anything that automatically closes it because I assume you're supposed to be able to load into the side while it is in operation. So you can just throw a round in there and fire it, throw a round in there, fire it, and then when you get to a point where you can reload, you can load from there. This can also be reloaded using speed loaders. The same speed loaders that I have for my Chronos will work on here. And again, it looks like there was at some point going to be something that socketed in there, either an extended magazine or speed loaders or something. Who knows? Hopefully speed loaders, because that would be really, really cool. And you could make a much longer speed loader that would actually fill this thing all the way. I'm not actually sure how many rounds this thing holds. I haven't filled it up. But yeah, that's how that works. Let's see if it also claims 100 FPS, so let's take it to the chronograph and see. All right, this one also claims FPS of 100, so let's see if it can perform. 102, 107, 105, 98, 105. Yes, it can. Highest I've seen it get is actually 108. Onward. Alright, again shooting at a range of 25 feet. Let's see if we can hit the alien. Hit. 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 Oh, miss. Hit. 4 out of 5, not too bad. I'll take it. Alright, well, it will do everything that it claims it will do, but let's see if it will take a K26. Alright, well, we are in, and as you can see, it's basically the same internals, maybe a slightly longer plunger tube, but more or less the same internals as the Meteor, other than, of course, it's got geared priming handle, which explains why the priming is so buttery smooth. You've got your follower set up right here that pushes into this, which is very reminiscent of the Kronos' feeding mechanism, except upside down there and going this way instead of in line along the top. Here's that. But obviously the spring, same large spring, not going to be able to take a K26, and so going to be a short episode. I'm going to go ahead and button it back up. Alright, I got the shell aligned now to put all the screws back in after a word from our sponsor.
Human.
Alright, it's back together and still working and still wonderful. The prime on this, like I said, is just buttery smooth. I absolutely love it. The reload mechanism, I really like that. I like the jam door that allows to reload. I don't like that this sight is permanently attached. They gave you rail, why not make the sight rail attached and removable? Because that would have made it just a little bit more svelte and easier to get into a holster. I think there is a shotgun holster out there that would fit this even this wide. I hope so. It may be in the mail. I may be doing a review on it. It will probably check this one. One thing I would like to see come out in the relatively near future would be a collapsible, extendable stock. Because this thing looks like it has a stock, but it really doesn't. You really can't shoulder it. And while I could put, just a Nerf stock attachment point on it, I'd rather see something that is collapsible and that has the hole here, so when it's collapsed you can load, and when it's out you can obviously still reach. That's what I'd really like to see. I may have to design one myself. Either that, or what would really be cool would be a Spaz 12 style sock that actually folded up. That is what I want. Somebody make that. Make that a thing. Do it now. Send me the files. I could probably fabricate one out of metal though. Anyway. Yeah, it'd be sweet. Anyway, yeah, I like it. Let's recap real quick. All right, for those of you just tuning in or who just skipped to the end to see the results, that was a no for the X-Shot Meteor and a no for the X-Shot Orbit. I was rather surprised. It wasn't a matter of the mechanisms not being able to take it. It was a matter of the plunger tube being or the plunger rod being too large and the K26 not being able to fit over it. So it would certainly fit an upgraded spring, just it needs to be larger than K26. So I'm sure there will soon be springs for these available. They might be able to take long shot springs. K25 might fit, but I didn't have any on hand. It's a fairly large diameter spring, which was impressive. But given that they already hit over 100 FPS, this one's hitting 108. You really don't need it, because once you get much past 120 FPS with Rival, the accuracy becomes so poor that the added range benefits you nothing. Now, at close quarters, that added power makes it a lot harder to dodge, and that is, advantageous in certain situations. But quite frankly, these are good the way they are. I would like to see somebody, if the company hasn't already, I would like to see somebody develop speed loaders for them, and I would like to see some kind of a folding or extendable stock for this one. But other than that, I really, really like these. I especially like the design of this one. The ergonomics are fantastic. So there you have it. If you have any suggestions for what you would like to see next, I already know what I'm going to cover next. I'll tell you. It's going to be the Adventure Force equivalent of these two. So the Adventure Force pistol and the Adventure Force shotgun that recently came out. That will be what will be next episode. And then those will all probably get featured in an episode of Slightly Unfair Reviews. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching.